This I don't get. People are still paying for overpriced, marked up new vehicles. In fact, so much so that July auto sales are tracking for a double-digit increase compared to last year. Here are the numbers. S&P Global predicts July sales will come in 18% higher than last July's numbers, but the critical point is what's driving the push to buy these new cars, trucks, and SUVs. Actually, the numbers are up because fleet and retail sales are on the go. Quote, new light vehicle sales will continue to progress in July, reflecting the current trend of sustained demand levels to the fleet sector while retail sales continue to climb. He goes on to say, quote, from both an economic growth and automotive demand perspective, the first half of 2023 has proven once again that one shouldn't doubt the spending capacity of U.S. consumers. People are willing to pay $1,000 a month for a new car. That's at least 17% of new car buyers. They're willing to pay, on average, $48,808 for a new car. This is ridiculous. What are you doing? Slow it down. Now, for tracking the numbers, S&P projects new U.S. light vehicle sales volume in July to reach 1.33 million. The expected monthly result represents a full calendar year worth of consecutive month sales growth, as measured in year-over-year unadjusted monthly volume comparisons, reflecting the recovery from the depths of the supply chain constraints realized through most of 2022. Yeah, the supply is catching up, isn't it? The volume would translate to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 16.1 million. We were looking at 15.5, just like last week. Well, that's before the July numbers came in. The first 6 months of 2023 have outperformed S&P Global Mobility's estimates. And as a result, S&P Global upgraded its calendar year of U.S. light vehicle sales, here it is, from 15.4 now to what you see here, 16.1. And EVs remain strong, with the vehicles expected to account for 7.6% of July sales. Continued development of battery electric vehicle sales remains a constant assumption for the rest of 2023, although some month-to-month volatility is expected as pricing changes remain dynamic, especially as aggressive production expectations continue to go and new product introductions gain momentum in the second half of this year. Not to mention, or I will mention right now, how Tesla is slashing prices like crazy. So, many analysts and automakers have predicted sales will slow in the second half of 2023. I don't see it, but all have cited affordability issues, including a tighter credit market, and it's being reported that the Fed is looking at raising interest rates again after taking a break at the last chance. However, S&P isn't entirely convinced that bad news looms on the horizon, as efforts by automakers to sort out the troublesome issues plaguing the supply chain appear to be resolved, at least for the moment, they say, allowing them to rebuild their inventories. We hear the inventories are up. We also hear that the transportation issue to get those vehicles to market is slowed, but they say the inventory is here. What do you think? Have you seen it at your dealerships in your area? One last thing here, although the 4th of July weekend represented a trifecta of the end of the month, end of the quarter, and a holiday weekend, the sales pattern for the weekend was consistent to preceding month's end in terms of sold inventory, the company said. Quote, the long weekend took a chunk out of available advertised inventory from 1.83 million in mid-June to 1.7 million in July, or at least the start of July. This is according to the S&P Global Mobility Associate Director. He goes on to say perhaps more notable is the available inventories in mid-July almost immediately rebounded to 1.867 million, surpassing the year-to-date highs seen in mid-June. So what's your takeaway from these latest numbers that people are still flocking to the dealerships and grabbing up as much inventory as they can because the numbers are going up, at least compared to last year? We know that prices are still well above MSRP, although they do say that on average, that people are paying a few $100 below MSRP on average, but we're still seeing truck prices well above, but we're still seeing a challenge by manufacturers to sell their vehicles. So many have been piling up on lots. We've heard of stories of dealerships stashing vehicles out of view of customers so they can mark up what they have in front of the customer. Some of these things are documented, some of these are rumored. So again, what's your takeaway? Why are people continuing to pay these outrageous prices when they could hold on to what they have? They're used vehicles. Just do a little maintenance on them. The maintenance costs so much lower than what you'd have to pay in some of these newer vehicles, when on average it's $700 on average for a new monthly car payment, whereas 17% are willing to pay over $1,000. These are just numbers that are circling in my head that I cannot find an answer for. Maybe you can help me. All right, leave your comments below. More videos as usual every single day. Adios.
One final note, if you are in the market for a new vehicle soon, great. Connect with your local dealership and price and test drive at least 3 different vehicles. A vehicle's strengths and weaknesses can only be discovered when you are behind the wheel. My reviews can be good, but you need to test drive these yourself. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com, select the make, model, and your zip code, and you'll get invoice pricing in your area on those vehicles. Shop smarter with price quotes at quotes.everymandriver.com.
Thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time.